Glenn Curtis, one of aviation's pioneers, once said, "There's a fascination about flying that's difficult to explain and hard to resist." I think that sums it up quite nicely. While wandering the flight line, I came across a group of volunteers restoring an old World War II Lancaster Bomber.
And at the end of the war, the French Navy was searching for a sea patrol airplane, and finally found that the British had many Lancaster on storage, never used by the RAF. So they bought 54 Lancasters.
This particular aircraft crash-landed on Wallis Island in the Pacific back in the 60s.
But the Navy decided to abandon the airplane. There was only 2 Lancasters remaining. It was sitting in Wallis for about 20 years when we decided to recover. So the airplane was a very nice airplane to fly. I would say would maneuver close to a fighter. First training flight, the instructor said, "Okay, now we're making a 90-degree bank." I said, "What?" I said, "Yes, go ahead, turn the yoke." And I start turning, but easily. I was thinking it's a big airplane. So he grabs the yoke, makes 90 degrees, and we see the airplane like this. That scares you a little bit for the first time.
The vice president of the organization took me on a tour of the workshops where all the repair and restoration work is performed, and he was kind enough to arrange a special visit to the museum's archives. The short Sunderland flying boat. Before the Second World War, hard surface runways around the world were few and far between. These magnificent waterborne craft served Britain during the war in the roles of anti-submarine and maritime patrol, and they opened up the world, taking off and landing anywhere a sheltered body of water was found. Out of the 750 that were built, there are only a handful of these aircraft scattered around the globe. They were also used commercially, some being converted from the military version, and others built specially, like this one, hidden away, being readied for the public. Up until now, I had seen all the remaining Sunderland flying boats except this one.
Well, Sunderland was a very nice airplane to fly, in flight. It was very nice, very easy to handle. The only problems were takeoff and landing, where you had to be very careful. The sea part of the hull was a bit too short, so the airplane, during the landing, had the tendency, what we used to say, suck on the nose. So if you could hear the means the water hitting the nose. So you had to pull the yoke all the way. Otherwise, if you let him go, he would suck, put the nose in the water and turn over. It was very dangerous.
After World War II, my father joined the Royal New Zealand Air Force and flew aboard Sunderlands as a flight engineer.
The life on board the Sunderland was very nice. You had a kitchen, you had a toilet, you had bunks for long flights, and you had even below on the lower floor a big table with seats where you can take your meal. Definitely the Sunderland was made British comfort. Oh yeah, it was really nice for that.
Finally, it was almost time to leave, but one last treat was waiting in the skies above. The Antonov 225, the largest airplane ever built. The aircraft was designed in part to carry Russia's version of the space shuttle, and you can see here the mounting points between the wings. It looks like this guy is a bit more difficult to land than your average Cessna. 4 francs just to take a whiz, but they are the cleanest toilets I've seen in Paris. No. One last visit to the City of Lights. For many years now, I have known that one can go to the top of the Arc de Triomphe for a different kind of view. A couple of quick shots around its base while flying the national flag, and then... Well, I was going to climb the Arc de Triomphe. Unfortunately, it's closed today because of a civil strike. Hey, it's not my fault. But unfortunately, it is my last night in Paris. So, it's going to have to wait till next time. Yet another reason, yet another excuse to come back. Ha 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 ha. My guidebook recommended a particular restaurant on a particular street that serves the best French onion soup anywhere. And thus, I decided to soak my sorrows in the aforementioned consommé. Upon applying for a seat, the waiter informed me in no uncertain terms, "We are closed." No, not again. I begged, I pleaded, and I explained to the maitre d' that I had walked miles to come here, that my guidebook said, don't leave Paris without sampling this soup, that perhaps one day I might be a famous television personality. At all this, he had a very good chuckle, I would wager at my expense, and then showed me to my table. Right turn out the hotel lobby, and this is what I had to face every morning. Oh, the temptation. After contemplating paying the excessive price for the Eurostar, and then finding out it would be much cheaper with a 14-day advance purchase, I decided to save that experience and my money for next time, and take the traditional, much cheaper, much slower train trip to Calais, ferry to Dover, and train to London. Arriving at the train station in Calais, I found it was a considerable distance to the ferry terminal, and I had just missed the bus. So, a fellow backpacker and I pooled our resources and shared a taxi. I remember my first trip to Europe in 1988. After spending more than a month on the continent, the sight of the white cliffs of Dover brought a sense of joy and relief. I suddenly realized that when I spoke to people, they would understand me, that I wouldn't be greeted by indifferent or puzzled looks, and that I would be able to find my way out of a train station at one glance, instead of considering what that sign might refer to. Then again, had I spent a few dollars or pounds on a phrase book, I might have enjoyed myself quite a bit more. There's a tip for you. Buy a phrase book. My journey back to England did take the whole day. I arrived in London around dinner time, and just in time to find the best man about to leave for Devon and the wedding of our mutual friend. We picked up our rental car in Reading, just west of London, and by the way, the city of my birth, and headed through the rolling hills towards our friend's appointment with destiny. Perfect end to a great trip, mistakes and all.